Let's see if this thing's actually going. Still don't trust it. Only 3 weeks into this, so bear with me. Okay, looks like I'm live. Woohoo! All right, so I see it on my Facebook page, and let me check my personal page. Sorry, for the first few times I have to do this. I just have to, for my own sense of sanity, make sure that it's actually going. I don't see it on YouTube yet. Let me refresh. Eventually I'll outgrow this, but I'm not there yet. Okay. See, it looks like it's not actually going to go live until 9 o'clock proper on my personal page, and I'm not sure why. Same with YouTube. I may as well just wait until that happens. Okay. So the first few minutes are going to be kind of boring. It's all good. So why am I not seeing... The setup's different than it was last week. I'm trying to figure out why that is. The setup's different. Yep. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so that's good. Ah, there I am. Okay. Okay, so here I am in my... Oh, shush. Okay, so here I found myself on my Facebook personal page, my Ben Parker Studio page, and I'll still wait around for YouTube. So I'll give it a few minutes for people that want to join, if they'd like to. Yeah, almost there. Well, those of you watching the recording at home, I hope you've had a good week. Yeah, getting kind of in the rhythm of doing this thing. I think next week I'm gonna do a little later, so like 10:30, just so I can wake up a little bit. It's really what it comes down to. But yeah, that'll give me more time to prep and yeah, maybe give a little bit of a better presentation. We'll see. Okay, I think we should be live on YouTube, right? YouTube? Yes, we are. Okay. Good, good, good. I see 0 people in there. That's fine. I'm gonna talk to myself for a bit. I think this thing will grow over time. Those of you watching at home, I changed around my setup a little bit. I noticed in the gridding videos that it's kind of hard to actually see where the grid lines were. So I moved this dock cam a little closer. Unfortunately, it's right in front of my head now. I think that's just something I'm gonna have to deal with, at least for now. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a better system. But I think this is only going to be for the first piece of the thing, and then I'll be able to zoom out again. Yeah. So I had a thought. Let me share. I'm going to share my. No, this one. Just sharing my screen here. This is this is my my website and a whole bunch of. Oh no, this is my my Google Photos page. We got a whole bunch of photos from way back when. But specifically, I want to recreate these 2 patterns. So this pattern's kind of neat, and this pattern's kind of neat. We got the front and the back there. I said back. Come on. Back over here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be trying to reverse engineer this. I've done this a couple times, but I haven't really done it on a large scale. Once I get myself sort of reacclimated to folding it on a smaller grid, I'll take it to this, which is a 1/28 grid. That's 128 triangles across the diagonal, and yeah, I just want to see what it looks like. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. Hey, Corbin, good to see you, man. Welcome. Welcome. I'm going to be folding this thing first. This thing. If there's time, I might try to reverse engineer this sucker as well. But yeah, so let's see. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Doesn't look like you can see my mouse. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna zoom out. Come on. Working with the trackpad here. Download. Still getting things set up here. Okay. So I brought this into Inkscape. Inkscape's the program that I use for, well, presentations and some design work, stuff like that. We can kind of reverse engineer this by going through, by counting from kind of one platform to the next. So if I have a crease right there, let's bump up the size a bit. Oh, too much. And right here, we have saved the settings. Come on. And one here. One here. So what I'm doing here is I'm counting across the grid. See that? That one goes up here, goes in, and then here. This is the midpoint. So this crest, basically I've counted from this point here that point here to the peak here, and then I can double that to get the distance from here to here. And so that is 9 lines. So it's 9 grid lines to go from this point to this point, and then 18 grid lines to go from that point to that point. Okay, so that means this is a hex twist, this is another hex twist. I'm gonna throw that down. So I need two hex twists that are 18 spaces apart. This is a 30 seconds grid. If I threw a hex twist here, I'd only have 16 over here. So I'd end up with 2 triangles like that. So I can't start with one in the middle. I'm gonna have to start with a hexagon. Maybe maybe a hexagon here and here. Third one here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. This should be plenty of room if I start way over here. You'll also notice that I'm not folding the grid this time. I figure I've already done that for 2 weeks. You guys are probably getting sick of that. If you'd like to see another gridding video, I'm happy to do that. Maybe I'll throw in a different style of grid, either triangle grid with angle bisectors or square grid with diagonals folded, something like that. We'll see. We'll see. All right. First hex twist. The next hex twist has to be centered 18 spaces away. I'm just going to do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Oh, actually, I didn't plan this, but 9 spaces away is the center of the hexagon. So, okay, oops, but also awesome. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's the next hex twist. I can start by just splitting, just to sort of highlight where that point is for myself. What I'm doing here is a very truncated version of what I'm actually going to be folding. I showed you the bigger thing. That's the real piece I'm going to be working on for this. But I want to take you through the process first. And there we go. Stage 1 is finished. We have 2 hex twists that are 18 spaces away. So that's from that point, center of the hexagon, all the way across that point, the center of the hexagon. So, next thing to do is we're going to, this is a multi-level design. So, this is first level. Second level is going to be to take these pleats and split that, and it also lines up with the split. Comes over here. So Corbin, you say you have an idea why watching me fold is so relaxing. Because you're not doing the work, so it's not stressful for you? Or, no, it's not stressful for me either, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do the same here. Split this. And I could have this run through like that, or I could just kind of sculpt this around like that. Bob Rossian. Well, thank you, Corbin. That's I really appreciate that. If you're reading the comments there, I got a nice compliment. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna make some happy pleats here, and we'll roll with that. There's actually there's a channel put out by Sarah Adams called Happy Folding, and it's of course a reference to Bob Ross. But yeah, I find this to be quite relaxing. It kind of focuses my mind on the pattern. There we go. Just doing a whole bunch of splits and recombinations on the backside to get this rosette pattern. It's really pretty. And when I get the last one, just like the first one, it's going to traverse the paper and connect with the other side. And I say the last one, there's actually two more. There's this pleat right here that needs to be split. Split that way, and then recombine with its neighbor over here. Same thing on the left side. So we got a whole mess in here, but that's because I haven't resolved anything on the right side. On the left side, it's nice and pretty. Got a full rosette. It's kind of cool. So on a full pattern, this would be, I would have enough paper down here for a third rosette. In this case, it doesn't. I don't have enough, so I'm just gonna lock these in place, something like that. So it's a little asymmetrical, but that's totally fine. For the experimental thing. And last one is right here. So because I'm not folding the grid, I don't know if this is going to be as long as the other ones. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it'll end up being longer because I'll get more ambitious or something. I'm not really sure yet. But you know, bear with me. Okay, so here's stage 2 finished. So the first stage was 2 hex twists, and now we've got 2 kind of rosette patterns, which are still centered 18 spaces away. So the next thing, to go from stage 2 to stage 3, I have to look back at the pattern because I don't remember. Okay, so right. Okay, so starting 1, 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so starting 5 away, we go into this this zigzag pattern. Starting 5 away from the hex twist, and the zigzag pattern peaks at 9. So let me show you that. So 5 away. First off, I'm gonna pop this out so I can see what 5 away looks like. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this point right here is where the zigzag starts, and that is mountain. Mountain. It's gonna be mountain. So you get this little popcorn molecule, and that popcorn then starts that point as a mountain point and starts the zigzag effect. We'll do the same over here. And then put a second sort of wave behind that. And sometimes you gotta be a little forceful. What you want to do is push very quickly without moving the rest of the paper. So it's almost like if you have a cone piece of paper and you push real fast in the pushing the point of the cone down. You don't want the entire cone to move. You want the point to puncture down. So you need some fast acceleration there. Kind of the same thing. I'm gonna push, but I don't want that to happen. I want that to happen. It's it's like surgical. There we go. There's the first layer of zigzags. And then now I'm going to do the second layer of zigzags because you can see back here there's two. We've got a mountain zigzag, then deep inside there's a valley zigzag, and then a mountain zigzag, and then a valley zigzag, and then there's the peak. And here I've got mountain, valley, valley. And then this right here, this diamond, is going to be where these two diamonds intersect or touch up against each other. That's going to be the midpoint. And you can see that this kind of already naturally formed. So that was convenient. There we go. That's the form. Cool. So now I just got to do that all the way around and trust that it's gonna work itself out once once the rest of the paper has kind of learned what it's supposed to do. That's kind of what's happening here. So this point, this split, I'm gonna puncture that down, make a little popcorn molecule. I think it was Christine Edison that I first heard the term popcorn molecule from, and I like that. I think that's really that's a really cool way to put it. I haven't heard any other terms for that. So that's that little triangular hexagonal cluster there If any other tesselators are watching this, I'd be interested to hear what else you might call it. All right. And so over time, once you get the pattern, you can sort of just let your fingers resolve it. You know, whatever it is. You do it faster and faster until the whole thing just finishes. So this is kind of a hard part. We've got the hex twist coming apart, and it wants to pull these two popcorn pieces apart, and we really want to keep them clamped together. We could actually use paper clips or something like that. I usually just kind of every now and then give it a little pinch, and that ushers the paper into kind of doing what it's supposed to. Eventually it gets conditioned enough to do what it needs to do. Okay, so this is becoming untenable. However, you notice that this, yeah, you can't see my mouse. The peaks of the hexagons aren't hex twists anymore. So as this thing develops, the hex twists start to pull apart because there's so much force, pull from these corrugated pleats. So at some point, you flip it around and create a hexagonal star shape, which looks kind of like this. There's that star shape. Woohoo. All right. And so the more kind of sponginess, the more it pushes out, the more you have to condition it back into place. Okay, let me go back to this and see what happens in the Oh, that's right. Okay, so if you look at the ridge in the middle, it kind of bends underneath. So what I'm looking at is this ridge kind of bends underneath there. And this creates a triangular platform of the sorts. Uh-huh. Cool. Cool. Yep, I'm remembering this. It's been a while since I've done this. So oftentimes I'll stumble across something. This is why it's so hard to answer the question of how long it takes to design and fold a piece, or independently discover and fold a piece. Years, minutes, I don't know. It's so hard to answer that question because I'll pick at a piece for sometimes years. Yeah, this particular one I've never really been satisfied with how it turned out. I mean, the picture here looks cool. You know, this is done from I think it was a 64th grid, but if I really want to get the full thing out of it, I really need to do it on this, which is a 1/28 grid or bigger. So that's the goal. That's what I'm hoping to achieve. My tentative goal. Now that I've kind of figured out what the hell I'm doing today. All right. There's that. I'm going to pop this one out. Oh, so another thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if you all have experience with Restream or streaming to multiple platforms. I'm having an issue right now. I'm trying to stream to Facebook and YouTube, you know, my personal Facebook page, my Facebook fan page, and YouTube, and Instagram. And I can't get Instagram. I found a third-party service, and the unfortunate thing is the third-party service I'm using called Restream only allows for 3 streams at once. So that's personal Facebook page, Facebook fan page, and YouTube. And if I want to add Instagram in, I have to pay a lot more. Now I'm perfectly fine losing my personal Facebook page and adding an Instagram, but it's not letting me delete one of those connections. And I'm not sure why. So if any of you out there has experience with Restream and troubleshooting, I can Google it too. But yeah, I appreciate any directions there. So that's going to give me a headache. All right. So this is starting to develop. I think you guys get the idea. Once it gets really solidified, I can start to sort of collapse it into form like that. So I'm going to take this to the larger sheet, and I'll play around with that for a minute. So here I've got sort of the start. I'm almost done with the first layer. And some of these I've gotten to the second stage with. So I'm gonna keep developing this. Make sure that I've got the right counting. Here, let's see, 1, 2, 6, 9. 18. Okay, so that's good. I'm just checking a few random ones to make sure that the entire, you know, if 2 or 3 of them are good, they're probably all fine. 1, 2, 17, 18. Okay, we're good there. And I'll check one more just for my own sanity. 1, 2, 16, 17, 18. Okay, we're good. So the cool thing about this, if this is 18 from here to here, from the center of that hexagon to the center of that hexagon, I can start to zoom out a little. If it's 18 grid lines from the center of that hexagon to the center of that hexagon, then where the mountain fold that comes off the center intersects, that'll also be 18 apart. This is just an equilateral triangle. So that makes things easy. I can use that to develop the entire pattern from there. So we've got 2 mountain folds that cross and create a hex twist. Right here. Doing a sort of a partial hex twist right there. I'm using that as sort of the guide to develop the rest of it. It's a little hard to see on such small gridding, but you'll be able to see it better once I've gotten through the first stage of this. Yeah, Corbin. I one of the things I want to do is also Twitch. I want to stream to Twitch also. Um, there was another website too, and I can't remember what it was. It would have been TikTok. Maybe that's just for shorter videos. I'm not really hip to all the new platforms at this point. But yeah, no, Twitch I think would be a good one. I'd have to make a Twitch account. I think through Restream, I think it'd be like $50 a month to stream to that many platforms. So I don't know if that's necessarily worth it. I might have to find another service. But right now, I think with the 3 that I have, it's $20 a month, which is fine. It's fine. Yeah, maybe it would do well on TikTok. I mean, I have the videos, so I can chop them up. I can speed them up as I need to. Extra work, but I could definitely do that. Yeah, something to think about. This is gonna keep growing, and I'm gonna keep evolving it over time, and we'll see how it goes. So little tiny hex twists tend to be pretty hard because you're focusing on there's little pleats. And if they're even a little bit off, then the twist might come out a little messy. And then that makes it harder to collapse and actually twist down. I don't think I'm going to do this whole pattern. As you can see here, along the edges, I'm not folding the full hex twist. So it actually starts the pattern kind of one step in, so the whole pattern is going to be about here instead of the full pattern, instead of the full hexagon, and that's fine. It'll still give me the idea of what it looks like. So oftentimes, what I'll do is I'll fold these with the express idea that I just want to see what it looks like when it's done. I mean, I know what it's going to look like, but it's quite a bit different when you're holding it in your hands and you've seen, hours and hours of work go into this thing. Yeah, Corbin, I think you're right. I think, if I chop it up and do like little snippets, speed it up. One of the goals of this paper wrangling series is to I'm going to start doing video tutorials. So that's going to be a thing maybe in the next couple months. Don't want to commit to anything, but that's possibly in the works. And so little sped up, time lapses, things like that, I think would be good for TikTok. One thing that's easy to mess up with this pattern. So I've got 2 pleats that come down here like this. And each one has a mountain fold. And I'm trying to find the third hexagon that'll happen right here. I don't want to actually take any of either of those two pleats. I want the middle crease. The middle crease, that's right here, and find the intersection with that, which is here. That point right there. Yeah, that's getting, you know, deep into the details. I wouldn't worry about that if you're trying to follow at home. Right. Almost done with the first layer. Another 5-10 minutes or so at the most. So I was thinking about other things that I could do for these streams. Corrugations, definitely. I can go into some design work. I could do some coating or gluing fabric to paper and manipulating it like that. I could even do some framing tutorials, demonstration tutorials, stuff like that. Doesn't always have to be folding per se, but I have origami adjacent activities that I do that I think would work pretty well for this too. Yeah, RumDev. I think you missed. You might have missed earlier. I did a smaller or a less dense grid. This is only 30 seconds before taking it to the big sucker. But yeah, this is also a pattern I've done before. I haven't done it in a few years, but it's yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little challenge. So if you're just joining us, this is a three-tiered, three-stage tessellation. I go from hex twist all the way through to the second stage, which has these little rosettes in them. And then you can kind of pop those rosettes out and get corrugated forms on the inside. And eventually it becomes something that looks like this. That's the full pattern. I might be able to get the full thing in this stream. If nothing else, I'll post the finished thing later on. If I am, I think I might be able to, because once you get the first stage done, the second and third stage is just fall into place. Assuming I didn't miss any of the count. That's the big thing. That lines up with that. That lines up with that. But yeah, I could do framing demonstrations. See some design work on Inkscape. I don't know how many of you out there use Inkscape versus Illustrator or CorelDRAW for some of your designs, but I use it for laser scoring. So I'll design on the computer, create some kind of geometric pattern, and then take it to a laser cutter and score corrugations. Not this stuff. Pleat patterns, pleated tessellations I tend to do by hand, because it feels better to do it by hand. But corrugations, I'm absolutely fine pre-scoring them and then folding over the lines. That's totally fine. Almost there. I think I just have 1 or 2 more molecules left. This has gone non-Euclidean. Oh, right, because I've already started the second stage. Yeah, no. Excuse me. I'd be happy to do a framing demo. Actually, hold on a second. I have some lengths of wood that I've been working on. And this is, I've got a whole bunch of these. I think this is hard maple, and I'm going to be using this to frame something. So you do 4 of these. You cut a channel here, and you can just kind of cut. This is the saw blade. Run it through like that, so it makes a cut right there, and then you flip it on the side and run it through like that. So you're cutting an L shape, gets rid of all that stuff. And then you do the same thing here for the glass channel, right there. And then glass cutting. Yeah, I think you can do it by hand. I have a machine that can be used to cut the glass. Yeah, I can do a demo. I think that'd be kind of fun. All right, so stage 1 is complete, and now I'm on to stage 2, and I've already started stage 2 because I got a little impatient earlier. Like I said, it's gonna start to really accelerate. So, like we did in the 30-second grid here, the next step is to split some pleats. Should start to accelerate. There we go. So it's starting to develop this molecule. Now the cool thing about it is as I develop one molecule, it also starts to sort of proliferate its pleats to the surrounding ones. So that's why it starts to accelerate, because everything's sort of, each molecule sort of talks to each of its neighbors. And then the paper knows what's up. I used to call it paper negotiating. Now I call it paper wrangling. think I need music for these. I'll have to look for open source music for folding. Or I can pay for the rights to a song or two. I don't really have that kind of money. But maybe eventually. So what you'll find as you get more and more dense grids, it's harder to stay accurate, especially as you go to the sides. As you get to the edges of the paper, you're going to lose accuracy, and so it's more important that that you know how to kind of compensate for inaccurate gridding than I would say than actually folding an accurate grid. It still needs to be accurate enough that you can kind of bend it into form, but at some point you just have to accept you're not going to fold perfectly. You're going to fold your grid, and there's going to be little tiny errors. And so it's good to build those skills also if you're learning this. Corbin, yeah, no, I appreciate the offer. That's probably a good idea. I can, yeah, we'll talk about that. That'd be cool. And I still want to talk to you about an intro splash of some kind for a YouTube series. But we'll keep in touch about that. Alright. So as it gets closer to the edge, I'm gonna have to figure out how to resolve these kind of edge cases here. Alright. Each molecule is going to be its own little challenge. So for that one, I found that this section of the paper was kind of beaten down. This is an older sheet, so it doesn't work quite as nicely as maybe other parts of the paper might, or other sheets might. It's not as crisp as elephant hide should be, but that's okay. It still works. It's happy paper. So it almost becomes like a fabric in that case, which can be kind of interesting. And that's what I mean when I say that the accuracy of the grid is less important than your ability to compensate for an inaccurate grid. Maybe not less important. They're both important. They're both important, but the ability to compensate for an inaccurate grid is just a good skill. I'm gonna stop harping on that. Here we go. Good. All right, I can feel my fingers getting faster at this. So now at some point, I got to figure out how to resolve these edge cases. Yeah, RumDev, thanks for joining. We'll see you next week, and yeah, I'll post the full video on the Origami Tessellations group. So yeah, see you next time. Okay, and I think the way that I want to do this is like this. I'm basically going to get these little half rosettes. I'll show you what I mean. Zoom in so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So these edge cases, I'm only using 2 pleats to intersect, and it creates a sort of a partial hex twist there. That's what's going on in there. And I can use that to create, so if this is the first stage, the analog of the first stage, the second stage will look something kind of like this. Yeah, something kind of like this. That is not neat. Hold on. There we go. So it's a little partial rosette. Clarify that up a little. So what's going to happen is I'll get the back in focus. I'm going to get these rosettes all the way through, and then the kind of partial rosettes around the outside. It is almost 10 o'clock, so let's get to the money shot here. So I've still got stage 1 out here. I've got a field of stage 2s here. I can start to, you know what? Let's have a continuation. I'm gonna continue this next week. Or maybe work on it between now and then, because I don't want this to go too much longer than an hour. I also have somebody setting up a show in about a half hour. So I think I'm going to set this to be continued. I'm going to work on this week, and if I'm able to finish it by then, I'll throw it up on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. If not, then I'm going to work on it next week, and that's going to be the stream, or at least part of the stream. So yeah, I'm going to try to figure out this stupid Instagram thing without paying, absurd amounts of money for a third-party service. If you have suggestions for third-party services to stream to multiple platforms, that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. Diane, yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, we'll see. I'll see you next week. yeah, have a good week, everyone. Stay safe and warm, and have a good week. See ya.